There is a moment, usually late at night, when the sky feels different. Not louder, not brighter, just wider. It happens when the noise of the day finally loosens its grip, when thoughts stop competing with one another, when the world becomes quieter, not because everything has stopped, but because you have stopped pushing against it. In that moment, the night sky is no longer something out there. It feels closer, more personal. Tonight, we're not rushing anywhere. We're not trying to reach a destination. We're simply allowing ourselves to drift slowly beyond the Milky Way, not leaving it behind, just expanding beyond it. Because before we go anywhere else, it helps to understand where we are. It's a place you are already inside. Every star you've ever seen with your own eyes belongs to it. Every constellation, every soft band of light stretching across a dark sky. The Milky Way is not a single object hanging in space. It is a vast, rotating system of stars, dust, gas, and invisible matter, and you are moving with it right now, even as you lie still. Our galaxy is shaped like a flattened disk, about 100,000 light-years across. It contains hundreds of billions of stars, most of which you will never see, not because they are hidden from you intentionally, but because they are simply too far, too dim, or obscured by clouds of cosmic dust. And yet, despite its size, the Milky Way is calm. Stars do not crash into one another. Orbits unfold slowly, predictably, patiently. Time moves differently here, stretched across millions and billions of years. Nothing is rushed, nothing is wasted. That rhythm is important because tonight we are borrowing it. It's easy to grow up thinking of yourself as the center of things, not in an arrogant way, just by default. Your thoughts feel loud, your worries feel urgent, your days feel heavy with responsibility. But when you understand your position in the galaxy, something softens. Our solar system sits in a quiet region called the Orion Arm, not the crowded core, not the sparse edge, a gentle neighborhood, stable, unremarkable in the best possible way. We are not in danger. We are not special targets of cosmic forces. We are simply here. And that realization can feel like being set down gently after holding something heavy for too long. When people imagine traveling beyond the galaxy, they often imagine escape, as if leaving means running away. But this journey is not about escape, it's about perspective. When you step back far enough, problems don't disappear, they resize. They stop shouting. They stop demanding immediate answers. They become quieter companions instead of enemies. The Milky Way, for all its beauty, is still only one galaxy, one island of light. And beyond it, the universe continues, calm, spacious, patient. Leaving the Milky Way doesn't require crossing dramatic borders. There is no edge with a sign, no line where stars abruptly stop. Instead, the galaxy thins. Stars become fewer. Distances stretch wider. Light grows more scattered. Eventually, you pass through the galactic halo, a vast spherical region of old stars and dark matter surrounding the visible disk. This halo extends hundreds of thousands of light years outward, still part of the galaxy, still home, only quieter. Between stars, there is space. Between galaxies, there is much more space. This emptiness is not hostile. It is not cold in the way we fear. It is not pressing in. It is open. If galaxies were crowded, collisions would be constant. Chaos would dominate. Nothing would last. But the universe prefers room. Room to move. Room to evolve. Room to breathe. The same kind of room your mind needs to rest. As you drift farther out, the familiar spiral shape of our galaxy becomes clearer. From the outside, the Milky Way is not overwhelming. It is elegant, a soft swirl of stars, a glowing disk, a gentle bulge at the center.
It looks calm. It always was. We simply lived too deep inside it to see the whole picture. Beyond our galaxy lie others, not packed tightly, not competing for space, separated by millions of light years, each one alone, each one complete. Some are larger than the Milky Way, some are smaller, some are smooth and round, others twisted by ancient encounters. None of them hurry, they drift. In human terms, distance often feels like loss, but in the universe, distance is what allows stability. Galaxies don't fight for territory. They don't rush toward one another. They coexist. The vast spaces between them are not emptiness. They are permission. Permission for systems to exist without interference. Permission for calm. Right now, your thoughts don't need to collide. They don't need to resolve themselves. They can simply orbit, slowly, predictably, without friction, just like stars. One of the most comforting truths about the universe is this: it does not require anything from you. Stars shine whether or not they are admired. Galaxies rotate whether or not they are understood. Nothing collapses if you stop trying, and that includes you.
Silence here is full of background radiation, full of invisible matter, full of slow motion. It is a silence that supports existence rather than erasing it. The kind of silence sleep grows from. Small does not mean unimportant. A single star can light a system. A single planet can host life. A single moment of rest can change a night. You do not need to be vast to matter. We haven't traveled far yet. We've only loosened the idea that the Milky Way is everything. In the next section, we'll move gently outward into the spaces between galaxies, not to confront emptiness, but to discover how much quiet structure exists there. For now, breathe slowly. Let your shoulders drop. Let the idea of distance feel safe. The universe is large, but nothing here is chasing you.
There is a kind of silence that only exists when nothing is trying to speak. Not the silence of an empty room, not the silence after noise stops, but the silence that was never interrupted to begin with. This is the silence between galaxies. It is not dramatic. It does not announce itself. It does not feel cold or threatening. It simply is. And the farther you drift beyond the Milky Way, the more this silence reveals itself, not as absence, but as space. When people imagine the space between galaxies, they often picture a void, an emptiness so complete it feels uncomfortable to think about, a darkness without structure, a place where nothing exists. But the universe rarely works in absolutes. Between galaxies, there is less, not nothing. Less matter, less light, less motion, and sometimes less is exactly what allows things to rest. As you move away from the outer halo of the Milky Way, stars become rare. At first, you still see familiar points of light, faint distant suns drifting far from the galactic disk. Then they thin. Distances stretch so wide that even light feels sparse. Eventually, the nearest star may be hundreds of thousands of light years away. Not gone, just distant. This is the beginning of intergalactic space. One of the quiet comforts of intergalactic space is this: nothing is pushing. There is no pressure, no wind, no resistance. On Earth, we are constantly pressed upon by gravity, by air, by noise, by expectation. Here, there is only expansion, and expansion is gentle. Even here, space is not empty. A thin mist of hydrogen atoms drifts through these regions, so sparse that you could travel for light years and never encounter more than a few particles. Yet across millions of light years, this mist matters. It connects galaxies, feeds future stars, carries the memory of earlier cosmic eras. It is the quiet background that makes structure possible. Between galaxies, darkness dominates. But darkness here is not an absence, it is a canvas. Light appears where it is needed, stars, galaxies, quasars, and disappears where it is not. This is not failure, it is design. Just as rest requires darkness, the universe requires space where light does not overwhelm.
If galaxies were close together, the universe would be chaotic. Gravity would pull constantly. Collisions would be frequent. Stability would be rare. But the universe chose distance. Millions of light years between major galaxies. Enough room for systems to evolve slowly. Enough room for calm. Enough room for balance. In human life, closeness often brings conflict. Too many demands, too many expectations, too much friction. The universe solved this problem early. By spacing galaxies apart, it allowed them to exist independently, to develop unique structures, to grow without interference. Distance here is not loneliness, it is respect. Occasionally, stars are ejected from their home galaxies, pulled loose by gravitational encounters. They drift alone through intergalactic space. No orbits, no neighbors, no destination. And yet, they shine. They do not fade because they are alone. They simply exist, self-contained, patient, complete. There's something deeply calming about that. Intergalactic space is cold, not in a biting way, in a steady, gentle way, just a few degrees above absolute zero. No sudden changes, no extremes. A temperature that has been settling for billions of years. Nothing rushed, nothing forced. Even here there is sound, not audible, but present. The cosmic microwave background fills all space, a faint glow left over from the early universe. It does not move toward you, it does not move away. It simply exists, evenly, quietly, patiently. A reminder that even the emptiest regions carry history. Between galaxies, time feels stretched, not because clocks stop, but because nothing is urgent. Processes unfold over millions of years. Gas drifts, gravity whispers, expansion continues. There is no schedule, and that lack of urgency is contagious. Something in the human nervous system responds to vastness, not fear, but release. When the environment stops demanding reaction, the body relaxes. Intergalactic space demands nothing. It does not need attention. It does not ask for solutions. It does not need to be understood immediately. It allows you to stop. This space holds galaxies without touching them, guides motion without interference, supports structure without pressure. It is the ultimate background presence, not passive, but gentle. Another subtle comfort: nothing is observing. No eyes, no expectations, no judgment. In intergalactic space, you are free from being perceived. You exist without being evaluated. That kind of freedom is rare. Sleep does not come from stimulation. It comes from safety, from knowing nothing will suddenly demand action. Intergalactic space is the physical embodiment of that safety. Nothing happens quickly here. Nothing surprises. Nothing interrupts.
No signals, no broadcasts, no vibrations. Only faint radiation drifting slowly. It is a silence that allows thought to dissolve rather than race. Even here, motion continues. The expansion of the universe carries everything outward. but the motion is uniform. No jerks, no turbulence, just a slow, steady unfolding. Perhaps the greatest lesson of this space is that urgency is optional. The universe accomplishes everything it needs without haste. Stars are born without deadlines. Galaxies merge over billions of years. Nothing fails because it takes time. Sparse, unattached, not colliding. Thoughts do not need to form systems tonight. They can exist individually, floating. Between galaxies, nothing tries to fill the gaps. The universe is comfortable with emptiness. So are you allowed to be. Not every moment needs purpose. Not every silence needs meaning. Without darkness, stars would blur. Without space, galaxies would lose shape. Without quiet, rest would not exist. The gaps are not mistakes. They are essential. It does not fear emptiness. It uses it. That trust is something we can borrow. You have not gone anywhere dramatic. You have simply allowed distance to exist without fear. In the next section, we will begin to notice patterns forming again. Clusters, filaments, gentle highways of galaxies. But for now, rest here, in the quiet between. Nothing is missing. Nothing needs to be added.
There is a moment when drifting long enough through the quiet between galaxies where something subtle begins to appear. At first, it does not look like structure. It does not announce itself with shape or color. It feels more like a suggestion, a faint tendency, a gentle preference for togetherness. You have been floating through vast spaces where galaxies are separated by millions of light years, where nothing presses in on anything else. And yet, even in this openness, the universe is not random. It never was. From a human perspective, distance feels like disorder. When things are far apart, we assume they are disconnected, unrelated, unorganized. But the universe does not share our intuition. Distance on cosmic scales is not separation, it is spacing. And spacing allows patterns to exist without collapsing into chaos. The force responsible for structure on the largest scales is not dramatic. It does not snap or pull suddenly. It does not rush. Gravity is patient. Between galaxies, gravity works over tens and hundreds of millions of years, gently guiding matter toward regions where density is slightly higher than average. Not dramatically higher, just enough. Shortly after the universe became transparent to light, matter was almost evenly spread. Almost. Tiny variations in density existed, differences so small they were once thought insignificant. But gravity remembers everything. Where matter was slightly denser, gravity pulled a little more strongly. Where it was slightly thinner, gravity pulled a little less. Over time, these differences grew, not fast, not violently, inevitably. Imagine a perfectly calm lake. Now imagine a faint breeze, barely noticeable, passing across its surface. Over time, ripples appear. Not because something broke the calm, but because the calm allowed change. The universe did the same. What began nearly uniform slowly developed texture. That texture became structure. As matter responded to gravity, it began to collect. Not into galaxies yet, first into elongated regions. Filaments, long thread-like concentrations of matter stretching across enormous distances. These filaments are not solid objects. They are regions where matter is slightly more likely to be found. Slightly. That is all it takes. One of the most surprising discoveries in modern cosmology is that matter did not collapse into neat spheres first. It stretched. It connected. It formed lines before knots. This is why the universe looks less like a cloud of dots and more like a web.
On the largest scales, galaxies arrange themselves along filaments. where filaments intersect, clusters form. Between filaments lie vast voids, regions almost empty of galaxies. This pattern is known as the cosmic web, not metaphorically, literally. A web does not trap everything. It holds without enclosing. It connects without crowding. The universe did not choose a grid. It did not choose randomness. It chose a web. In nature, webs appear wherever forces need to distribute tension evenly. Spider webs, neural networks, river systems. They all solve the same problem: how to connect many points without collapse. The universe solved this problem early. The visible galaxies are not what built the web. They simply followed it. Before stars existed, before galaxies formed, dark matter had already arranged itself into filaments. Dark matter does not emit light. It does not interact with radiation, but it has mass, and gravity listens to mass. When gas and ordinary matter cooled enough to form stars, they did not choose locations randomly. They fell into the gravitational wells carved by dark matter. Galaxies are, in a sense, the visible frosting on an invisible cake. Beautiful, but not structural. We cannot observe dark matter directly, but we see its influence everywhere. Galaxies rotate faster than they should. Clusters hold together more tightly than visible mass allows. Light bends around invisible structures. The web reveals itself through effects, not appearance. No intelligence designed this structure. No blueprint existed. Simple laws applied over vast time produced order. This is one of the most calming realizations in cosmology. Order does not require control. It requires patience. Where multiple filaments intersect, matter accumulates more strongly. These intersections become galaxy clusters. Hundreds, sometimes thousands of galaxies bound together. But even here, space dominates. Galaxies rarely collide directly. They dance. Despite their mass, clusters are surprisingly calm places. Galaxies move slowly relative to one another. Gas fills the space between them, glowing faintly in X-rays. Nothing is rushed. Nothing is unstable.
On Earth, movement usually implies friction, heat, noise, resistance. In space, motion is smooth. Galaxies slide along gravitational contours like boats on a slow river. Between filaments and clusters lie voids, enormous regions containing very few galaxies. Voids are not failures of structure, they are part of it. Without voids, filaments would not exist. Just as silence defines music, emptiness defines cosmic structure. Voids allow filaments to stand out. They give the universe contrast. Some voids are hundreds of millions of light years across. Within them, a single galaxy may drift alone for eternity. These regions are not dead, they are simply quiet. In dense regions, gravity resists expansion. In voids, expansion dominates. These empty spaces grow faster than structured regions. The universe stretches unevenly, gently. Filaments evolve, clusters grow, voids expand. But everything happens on timescales so long they feel almost timeless. This slowness is what makes the universe feel calm. There is no end goal, no final arrangement. The web is not progressing toward completion, it is simply unfolding. Humans evolved in environments where unpredictability meant danger. Our nervous systems calm down when patterns are stable and slow. The cosmic web is the ultimate example of stable, slow structure.
It does not change suddenly. It does not surprise. It endures. No point in the universe is privileged. Every galaxy sees itself near the center of its own observable region. Perspective is local. Structure is universal. Your galaxy sits on a filament. That filament connects to others. You are not floating in randomness. You are embedded in a pattern billions of years old. Civilizations rise and fall. Stars burn out. Galaxies merge. But the large-scale structure will persist long after individual details fade. You do not need to understand every detail. Your mind does not need to visualize the entire web. It is enough to know this: the universe is not chaotic. It is gently organized. And that organization does not rush. Before moving deeper into the web, before following filaments across hundreds of millions of light years, allow this realization to rest. Order exists without urgency. Structure exists without pressure. Movement exists without noise.
If the universe has a skeleton, the cosmic web is its frame. But a skeleton alone does not explain how motion happens. To understand that, we need to notice something even more subtle. The universe is not just structured, it is flowing. When humans imagine movement, they imagine congestion. Cars on roads, crowds in hallways, objects bumping, slowing, stopping. The universe does none of this. Its largest motions are smooth, continuous, and nearly frictionless. Galaxies move not through space, but with it. Astronomers use a quiet term to describe how galaxies move along filaments: cosmic flows. Not collisions, not migrations, flows. This word is chosen carefully because galaxies are not traveling independently like ships at sea. They are carried. On small scales, gravity feels like a pull. On large scales, it behaves more like terrain. Imagine a vast landscape of hills and valleys. Water does not choose where to go. It follows the shape. Galaxies do the same. Each filament represents a region where space-time curves just a little more deeply. Galaxies drift along these curves, not quickly, not dramatically, but persistently. There is no engine driving galaxies toward clusters, no propulsion, only response. Matter follows gradients in gravitational potential, the way heat flows from warm to cool. At the intersections of filaments, matter accumulates, galaxy clusters form. But even here, nothing crashes. Relative velocities are high, but distances are vast. Collisions are rare. The universe avoids chaos by being spacious. Between galaxies lies gas, extremely thin, so thin that on Earth we would call it a vacuum, but on cosmic scales it matters. This gas traces filaments, glowing faintly in ultraviolet and X-ray light. It reveals the paths galaxies follow. For decades, astronomers noticed something strange. When they added up all visible matter, stars, gas, dust, they came up short. Half the universe's normal matter was missing. It wasn't gone, it was hidden. The missing matter exists as warm, hot intergalactic medium, gas stretched along filaments, too diffuse to see easily, too hot to glow brightly, but it's there, holding structure together. Voids feel empty because galaxies avoid them, but even voids contain particles, a few atoms per cubic meter, enough to feel gravity, enough to remember structure. On Earth, change feels constant. In the cosmic web, change is glacial. 1 billion years can pass without noticeable rearrangement. This slowness is essential. It prevents collapse. The cosmic web formed early, and once formed, it endured. Filaments stretch, clusters grow, but the overall pattern remains. This is not fragile structure. It is resilient. Expansion pulls space outward.
Gravity pulls matter inward. Neither wins. They coexist. This balance creates long-lived patterns. The universe is expanding, but not like an explosion, more like rising bread. Everything moves away from everything else, slowly. Dense regions expand more slowly. Voids expand faster. This difference enhances structure rather than destroying it. No adjustments are made, no corrections applied. Physics alone is enough. This is self-organization at the largest possible scale. Zoom in, you see clusters. Zoom out, you see superclusters. Zoom further, you see filaments connecting everything. The pattern repeats, not identically, but rhythmically. The universe does not aim for perfection. Filaments are irregular. Clusters are asymmetrical. Voids are lopsided. And yet, coherence emerges. Human brains are sensitive to balance. Too much order feels rigid. Too much chaos feels unsafe. The universe sits between these extremes, predictable enough to calm, complex enough to fascinate. Your galaxy is moving, not randomly. It is drifting along a filament, toward a future cluster, toward a merger that will not happen for billions of years. No cosmic deadline exists. Nothing needs to arrive. Everything is already in motion. When we observe distant galaxies, we see motion frozen in time. Light carries not just images, but trajectories. We reconstruct flows by observing ancient light. Even as galaxies evolve, the web remains, because gravity remembers initial conditions. The faintest early differences still echo. Most of the universe is quiet. No explosions, no flares, just gradual drift. If you could travel along a filament, you would not feel speed. There would be no wind, no sound, just the slow rearrangement of perspective over millions of years. This is why thinking about large-scale structure can feel sedating. Your mind slows to match the universe's rhythm. Fast thoughts dissolve. Only continuity remains. You do not need to go anywhere. The universe is already moving for you. You are being carried gently by a structure older than stars.
There is a moment when the numbers stop helping. Light years no longer clarify. Billions lose their meaning. Distances stretch beyond the ability to compare. And something else takes over. Silence. Science is powerful because it measures, but scale eventually defeats measurement. Not because the numbers are wrong, but because the human mind was never designed to inhabit them. At a certain size, understanding becomes experiential instead of analytical. You stop calculating. You start feeling. Despite its size, the universe is not chaotic. There are no constant explosions, no perpetual noise. Most of cosmic history unfolds quietly. Stars form in silence. Galaxies drift without friction. Filaments stretch without sound. On Earth, large things often signal danger. Storms, mountains, oceans. But cosmic largeness behaves differently. It is slow, predictable, patient. It does not rush toward you, it surrounds you. The bigger the structure, the slower it moves. Atoms vibrate quickly, planets orbit steadily, galaxies drift lazily. The cosmic web barely shifts at all. The universe rests as it expands. Near the cosmic web, time feels heavy, not slow in a frustrating way, slow in a reassuring way. Nothing snaps, nothing surprises. Everything has time to become what it is becoming. Human anxiety thrives on urgency, deadlines, short horizons, immediate consequences. The universe does not operate this way. Its plans extend beyond urgency. They extend beyond concern. Galaxies do not fail. Stars do not miss deadlines. Even collapse follows its own timetable. There is no wrong pace, even if your thoughts do not. When you contemplate cosmic scale, your body responds. Breathing deepens, muscles loosen, attention softens. This is not accidental.
The human nervous system evolved under the sky, long before cities, long before clocks, long before constant stimulation. Staring upward was once normal. For most of human history, the night sky regulated emotion. It reminded people of cycles, of patience, of continuity beyond individual life. Modern life removed that reminder, but your biology still remembers it. The cosmic web does not care about you individually, but it includes you completely. Your atoms pass through stars that formed within filaments. Your matter flowed through this structure long before Earth existed. You are not separate. You are not outside. You are not visiting the universe. You are a temporary expression of its structure. At the largest scale, matter arranges itself into balance, not static balance, dynamic balance, movement without disruption. Gravity could collapse everything. Expansion could tear everything apart. Neither does. They coexist. Restraint is built into reality because it suggests something profound. Existence does not need constant control to remain stable. It self-corrects, it adapts, it continues. The universe does not rely on effort. It relies on relationship, on forces responding to one another naturally. This applies to you as well. When you stop trying to mentally grasp the universe, something interesting happens. You stop resisting it. You allow it to exist around you without needing mastery. This is where rest begins. At first, you try to understand. Then you simply remain present. The universe does not demand comprehension, only awareness. Nothing here needs solving. Nothing here needs improvement. The structure already works. It has worked for billions of years. Every filament you imagine existed before life will exist after. This continuity absorbs anxiety. Short-term worries dissolve when placed against long continuity. The universe does not rush because it does not fear ending. It transforms, slowly, gracefully. Despite its delicacy, the cosmic web is resilient. It survives expansion, it absorbs collisions, it redistributes energy. Gentle does not mean weak. The universe demonstrates this constantly. Its most powerful structures are its calmest ones. As you listen now, your body is still. Your breathing is steady. Your awareness is wide. You are mirroring the universe's pace without effort. Nothing is chasing you here. Nothing is waiting for immediate response. There is no urgency in a filament. The cosmic web offers a permission humans rarely give themselves. You do not need to hurry. Galaxies move without stress. So can thoughts. So can attention. So can you. This section does not conclude. It simply slows, like the universe itself. There is no final point, only continuation. Imagine yourself floating far above the Milky Way, not moving, not observing, just present. Below you, filaments glow faintly. Above you, space stretches endlessly. Nothing asks anything of you. Whether you think about it or not, whether you sleep or not, whether you remember or not, the universe holds its shape. Not because it protects you personally, but because it does not require you to be anything other than what you are.
There is a quiet shift that happens, somewhere between looking outward and looking inward. At first, the universe feels distant, too large, too abstract. But slowly, almost without noticing, it begins to feel familiar. Not because it becomes smaller, but because you change the way you are looking. We often confuse knowledge with numbers, distances, masses, velocities, ages. These are important. They give structure, but they are not the full story. True knowing happens when something begins to feel placed inside your awareness. It does not conceal itself intentionally. It simply exists at scales that require patience. Understanding the universe is less about intelligence and more about tempo. Nothing cosmic happens quickly.
Stars take millions of years to form. Galaxies evolve over billions. Even light, the fastest thing we know, arrives late. This slowness is not a flaw, it is a feature. Every night the sky returns, every orbit repeats, every expansion continues. The universe does not rush to explain itself. It allows familiarity to grow naturally. At first, immensity can feel threatening, too big to control, too vast to predict. But curiosity softens that reaction. Curiosity replaces fear with attention. There is a moment when scale no longer intimidates. It becomes context instead, like standing at the edge of the ocean and realizing the water does not want anything from you. To know the universe is not to master it. It is to relate to it, to sense patterns, to notice rhythms, to recognize familiar structures repeating at different scales. Spirals appear everywhere, in galaxies, in shells, in storms, in fingerprints. The universe favors repetition, and repetition builds understanding. Your brain is a pattern recognition machine. When you see the same shapes appear across scales, something relaxes. It feels less random, less hostile. You learned it before words, through breath, through heartbeat, through cycles of sleep and waking. The universe operates the same way. From afar, randomness seems dominant, but zoom out enough and rhythm appears. Expansion follows rules. Gravity balances motion. Energy redistributes predictably. The universe does not become knowable so you can control it. It becomes knowable so you can belong within it, because it removes the need to dominate. You do not dominate the ocean to swim. You do not dominate the sky to breathe beneath it. Science once framed humans as external observers, detached, objective, separate. But modern understanding suggests otherwise. You are inside the system you observe, not just in physics, in psychology, in nervous systems. When you contemplate cosmic scale regularly, your sense of self subtly expands. This is not loss, it is relief. You carry less weight when you are not the center of everything. Many cultures treated the sky as medicine, not metaphorically, literally. Looking up regulated emotion. Modern research supports this ancient intuition. Exposure to vast natural environments reduces stress markers. The universe is the largest natural environment of all.
Even as understanding grows, mystery remains, and that is essential. A fully known universe would be suffocating. Mystery keeps curiosity alive. It prevents stagnation. It allows meaning to remain open-ended. Every discovery creates new questions. This is not frustrating, it is stabilizing. There is always more time. The universe does not conserve energy alone, it conserves time. It allows processes to unfold fully. Understanding does not demand speed. The universe does not reward haste, it rewards presence. Repeated exposure to cosmic ideas reshapes thought patterns. Fear responses soften. Long-term thinking strengthens. As outer space becomes familiar, inner space expands too. Thoughts gain room. Emotions loosen their grip. You are not small. You are located, situated precisely within a vast structure. The universe does not rank. It connects. Every location matters because it exists. You do not need to be central to be meaningful. Stars are not central, yet they light worlds. Gravity cooperates with motion. Expansion cooperates with structure. Nothing acts alone. Atoms depend on forces. Stars depend on pressure. Galaxies depend on dark matter. Independence is an illusion. You are never truly separate, even in silence, even in sleep. At this point, you may notice something subtle.
You are no longer trying to understand. You are allowing understanding to exist. Children look at the sky this way. Animals experience it this way. Effortless awareness. It simply unfolds. Meaning arises naturally when you stop forcing it. True understanding is quiet. It does not announce itself. It settles. You do not need to contain it mentally. You can rest inside it conceptually. There is freedom in incompleteness. Nothing is finished. Nothing is closed. Not escape. Not distraction. Rest. As the universe becomes knowable, the breath becomes deeper. This is not coincidence. Inhale expands, exhale releases. The universe breathes too. No force, no urgency, just continuation. Not because it is simple, but because it is patient. Everything unfolds in its own time, including understanding, including rest. By now, immensity may feel less sharp, more like background, like a sky you trust. It holds itself, and it holds you within its laws. This section does not end with answers, it ends with comfort. The universe becomes knowable not when it shrinks, but when you stop resisting its size.
There is a quiet shift that happens somewhere between looking outward and looking inward. At first, the universe feels distant, too large, too abstract. It appears as something that exists outside you, something you are allowed to observe but not truly touch. In the beginning, scale feels heavy, distances feel unreal, numbers feel cold. Millions of years, billions of light years, trillions of stars. The mind tries to hold these ideas, and for a moment, it feels as if it might slip. This reaction is natural. The human brain evolved to navigate landscapes, not galaxies, to measure days and seasons, not cosmic expansion. So when the universe first enters awareness, it can feel overwhelming. But this feeling does not last, not because the universe becomes smaller, but because familiarity begins to grow. Understanding does not arrive suddenly. It arrives the way night arrives, gradually, quietly, without asking permission. At first, knowledge feels like effort, like trying to stretch your thoughts beyond their natural limits. But then something shifts. You stop trying to hold the universe, and instead you let yourself be inside it. This is the beginning of knowing. Knowing is not the same as measuring. Measuring gives numbers. Knowing gives context. You may still not fully imagine what 100,000 light years looks like, but you no longer need to. The universe stops being an object and becomes an environment, like the ocean or the sky. You do not need to understand every wave to feel at ease beside the water. The universe works the same way. At first, immensity feels like pressure. Then, slowly, it becomes background. A vast background, yes, but a stable one. And stability is calming. The universe does not hide itself. It simply exists at a scale that rewards patience. Nothing in the cosmos rushes. Stars take millions of years to form. Galaxies evolve over billions. Even light, the fastest thing we know, arrives late. Slowness is built into reality. And when your thoughts slow down to match that pace, the universe begins to feel less distant. This is why cosmic contemplation often feels soothing. It aligns your inner tempo with the tempo of everything else. At this stage, fear begins to soften, not disappear, but loosen. Fear gives way to curiosity, and curiosity changes everything. Curiosity does not demand control, it asks only for attention. When you are curious, the universe stops being something that threatens to overwhelm and becomes something that invites exploration. You begin to notice patterns. Spirals repeat,
Cycles return, structures echo across scales. Galaxies resemble storms, atoms resemble solar systems, motion follows rhythm. Patterns create familiarity, and familiarity creates calm. Your mind recognizes repetition and relaxes into it. The universe begins to feel less random and more coherent, less hostile, more understandable, not fully known, but no longer alien. At this point, vastness stops pressing inward and starts opening outward. The universe does not feel like it is closing in on you. It feels like it is giving you room, and that is the beginning of knowing.
As familiarity grows, another shift takes place. You stop seeing yourself as a separate observer. You begin to sense that you are part of the system you are contemplating. This is not philosophy, it is fact. The atoms in your body were formed in stars. The calcium in your bones, the iron in your blood, the carbon in your breath, all forged in cosmic processes long before Earth existed. The universe is not something you look at, it is something you are made of. This realization does not inflate the ego, it does the opposite. It gently dissolves the need to be central. You do not need to be the center of the universe to belong within it. Stars are not central, yet they light entire systems. Planets are not central, yet they host life. Meaning does not come from importance, it comes from connection. Modern science increasingly reflects this. Nothing exists in isolation. Atoms depend on forces. Stars depend on pressure. Galaxies depend on dark matter. Interdependence is written into reality at every scale. This understanding softens isolation. Even when you are alone, you are not separate. You exist within a continuous structure that stretches outward without end. This awareness changes how vastness feels. Instead of standing against infinity, you find yourself resting inside it. The universe becomes a place rather than a concept, a place with rhythm, with balance, with patience. This is why thinking about the cosmos often quiets the mind. Daily worries operate on short timescales, minutes, hours, days. The universe operates on billions of years. When your thoughts touch those scales, small urgencies lose their sharpness. Not because they don't matter, but because they are no longer alone. They are placed inside something larger. This perspective is not numbing, it is stabilizing. You are allowed to exist without solving everything. The universe does not demand comprehension, it allows awareness. Mystery remains, and that is essential. A fully known universe would be static, closed, airless. Mystery keeps curiosity alive. It allows meaning to remain open, and open meaning is restful. There is no final answer pressing toward you, only continuation. Time itself becomes gentler here. The universe does not hurry, and you do not need to either. Understanding is not a race. It unfolds when you are ready. As outer space becomes more familiar, inner space expands as well. Thoughts gain room. Emotions loosen. You feel less compressed, less crowded by urgency. The mind mirrors the cosmos, spacious, ordered, quietly dynamic. At this stage, awareness requires no effort. You are no longer trying to understand the universe. You are allowing understanding to exist. This is the natural state. Children experience the sky this way. Animals experience it this way. Effortless presence. The universe does not demand interpretation. It simply unfolds. And when you stop forcing meaning, meaning arises naturally. You do not need to hold the universe in thought. It holds itself, and it holds you within its laws. This section does not end with conclusions. It ends with comfort. The universe becomes knowable not because it becomes smaller,
but because resistance fades. You are allowed to rest inside something vast.
Time is one of the first things we learn to measure, and one of the last things we truly understand. Seconds, minutes, hours, days that pass too quickly, nights that stretch too long. We grow up believing time moves in a straight line, from past to present to future, from beginning to end. This idea becomes so familiar that we rarely question it, but the universe does. In the cosmos, time does not behave like a simple line. It bends, it stretches, it slows, it overlaps. And when we begin to see time the way the universe does, something unexpected happens. Urgency fades, the pressure of now loosens its grip, and eternity stops feeling distant. At first, time feels personal. It is measured by heartbeats, breath, aging. But time existed long before life did. Stars lived and died before Earth formed. Galaxies collided before the first cell emerged. Time does not belong to us. We belong to time. Yet somehow we experience it from the inside. That is the paradox. From the outside, time is vast and slow. From the inside, it feels narrow and fast. A year passes quickly. A lifetime feels brief. A moment of fear can feel endless. This difference is not a flaw. It is a feature of awareness. The universe does not experience time the way we do. It does not rush. It does not anticipate. It unfolds. When we align our attention with that unfolding, time begins to soften. Not stop, but loosen. The idea of eternity often sounds heavy. Infinite time, no end. But eternity in the universe is not a long hallway stretching forward. It is a field, a presence. Everything that exists now exists within eternity. Eternity is not later, it is deeper. The past is not gone in the universe. Its light is still traveling. When we see a distant galaxy, we see it as it was billions of years ago. The past is visible. The future is implied. Time is layered, not erased. Nothing truly disappears. It only moves out of direct reach. This understanding changes memory. Memory is not just something stored in the brain. It is a reflection of how time works. Every experience leaves an imprint, not only in the mind, but in matter. Atoms remember their history. Light remembers its origin. Space remembers expansion. Memory is built into reality. This is why certain moments feel timeless. They touch deeper layers of time. When you listen to a familiar sound, or recall a place you once loved, or lie awake beneath the stars, time does not feel linear. It feels circular, or suspended, or open. This is not imagination. It is alignment. Your awareness briefly matches the way time behaves outside the human scale. This is why contemplation slows the heart. It brings attention closer to cosmic time. Cosmic time does not rush. Stars do not panic. Galaxies do not hurry. The universe does not regret its past or worry about its future. It exists, and existence does not require urgency. When we internalize this, rest becomes possible. Not sleep yet, but rest. The kind that does not depend on outcomes, just presence. Time becomes something you are inside of, not something chasing you. And when that shift happens, the mind begins to quiet.
Memory is often mistaken for something fragile, a fading image, a sound that grows quieter with age, a moment that slips away. But memory is not weak. Memory is one of the strongest forces in the universe, because memory does not exist only in minds. It exists in matter, in light, in space. Every atom remembers where it came from. The hydrogen in your body was formed shortly after the birth of the universe. The carbon in your cells was forged in the heart of an ancient star. The calcium in your bones was scattered by a supernova billions of years ago. Your body is not just alive, it is historical. You are not only present, you are layered. Memory, in this sense, is not something you carry, it is something you are. When we remember something deeply, we are not pulling it forward from the past, we are stepping sideways into it. This is why certain memories feel immediate, why a smell can return you instantly to another place, why a melody can collapse decades into seconds. Time does not need to move forward for memory to exist. Memory exists because time is not linear. The universe does not delete its past, it preserves it. Light preserves the past by traveling. Space preserves the past by expanding. Matter preserves the past by carrying structure forward. Nothing forgets completely. Even black holes, once thought to erase information, are now believed to preserve it in subtle ways. The universe does not forget, it rearranges. When you remember something, you are participating in that rearrangement. This is why memory feels heavier at night. During the day, attention is pulled outward, tasks, motion, noise. At night, attention turns inward, and when attention turns inward, memory surfaces naturally, not because the mind is searching, but because the barriers soften. Nighttime mirrors cosmic conditions, less interference, lower noise, more sensitivity. This is why the night sky invites reflection. It reminds the mind that time is deep, that what has passed still exists somewhere, that nothing is truly lost. This realization can be comforting. If moments are not destroyed, then neither are connections. People we have known, places we have been, versions of ourselves we once were. They are not gone, they are simply not here right now. The universe holds them in different layers, and sometimes, in quiet moments, we brush against those layers. This is not nostalgia, it is resonance. Memory is resonance across time, and resonance does not require effort. It happens when conditions align. This is why forcing memory feels different than allowing it. When you try to remember, the mind tightens. When memory arises naturally, the body softens. Sleep works the same way. You cannot force sleep, you can only create the conditions for it. Time behaves similarly. You cannot control it, but you can change how you move within it. When the mind stops resisting time, time stops feeling sharp. The edges blur, moments expand. Eternity stops feeling overwhelming and starts feeling present. This is why long nights sometimes feel shorter than busy days, why hours of rest can feel richer than days of activity. It is not the amount of time that matters, it is the shape of time. The universe shapes time through gravity. Mass bends space-time. The stronger the gravity, the slower time moves. Near massive objects, time stretches. Near black holes, time nearly stops. This is not metaphor, it is physics. Time responds to presence, to mass, to depth. When attention deepens, time stretches psychologically. This is why meditation feels timeless, why deep focus dissolves clocks, why falling asleep feels like slipping out of time rather than entering it. Sleep is not the absence of time, it is a shift into a different temporal layer. Dreams do not obey linear time, they overlap, loop, rearrange. The dreaming mind moves more like the universe does. This is why dreams feel symbolic. They are not bound to sequence, they are bound to meaning. Memory
dreams, and cosmic time all share this trait. They are not ordered by clocks, they are ordered by connection. When something matters, it persists, not because it is recent, but because it resonates. The universe is built on resonance. Particles interact through fields, galaxies form along filaments, structures repeat at different scales. Memory is part of that pattern. It is how meaning travels across time. This understanding removes urgency for remembrance. You do not need to hold on. Nothing important vanishes. It changes form. It moves into quieter layers. And those layers are still accessible, especially at night, especially when the world slows, especially when the mind stops pushing forward. This is why rest is not escape, it is alignment. When you lie still, your body aligns with planetary motion. The Earth rotates steadily, the galaxy moves slowly, the universe expands gently. Your breathing becomes another rhythm in that larger motion. Memory settles, time softens, the mind begins to loosen its grip, and eternity stops feeling distant. It begins to feel close, not as infinite duration, but as infinite presence.
There are moments when eternity does not feel distant. It does not feel abstract. It does not feel infinite in a frightening way. Instead, it feels near, quiet, gentle, almost familiar. These moments often arrive at night, not because night is special in itself, but because night removes distractions. When the world grows quieter, the mind no longer has to move forward so aggressively. And when forward motion slows, depth becomes noticeable. Eternity does not announce itself. It does not arrive as a grand idea. It arrives as stillness, as a pause, as the feeling that nothing needs to happen next. Most of the day, the mind exists in anticipation. What comes after? What needs to be done? What is missing? This constant orientation toward the future creates tension, not dramatic tension, subtle tension, a gentle leaning forward. At night, that leaning softens. The body reclines. The eyes close. The breath deepens. And suddenly, the present moment feels wide. Not empty, wide. This width is not measured in seconds. It is measured in presence. This is where eternity begins to feel close. Eternity is not endless time. It is timelessness. It is what remains when the mind stops counting. When clocks fade into the background, when the idea of later loses urgency. Physics tells us that time behaves differently depending on context. At high speeds, time slows. In strong gravity, time stretches. In deep sleep, time dissolves. This is not just perception. Brain activity during sleep shows reduced tracking of sequential time. The brain no longer marks moments as before and after in the same way. Instead, it moves in states, waves, patterns. This is why sleep feels like absence and presence at the same time. You are not aware of time passing, yet you awaken changed. Something has happened, but not in steps. Eternity feels close in these states because the mind is no longer slicing reality into units. Without units, there is no duration. Without duration, there is no pressure. This is why eternity, when experienced indirectly, is calming. It is the absence of deadlines, the absence of sequence, the absence of urgency. Many people fear eternity because they imagine it as endless extension, an infinite hallway, a never-ending continuation. But eternity is not continuation, it is completion. It is the sense that nothing is lacking, nothing needs to be added, nothing needs to be reached. This feeling often appears just before sleep, that soft moment when thoughts slow but awareness remains, when you are not fully asleep but no longer fully awake. In this threshold, the mind is quiet enough to sense something larger, not intellectually, viscerally. The body relaxes its grip. The shoulders sink, the jaw softens, breathing becomes effortless. And in that ease, the present moment expands. This expansion is eternity touching awareness, not as an idea, but as an atmosphere. The universe itself exists in a similar state. On the largest scales, change happens slowly. Galaxies take billions of years to evolve. Cosmic structures drift at imperceptible speeds. From the universe's perspective, most things are nearly still. We live on a planet where time feels fast. Days turn quickly, seasons shift, lives pass. But this speed is local. Zoom out far enough and motion slows. Time thickens. At cosmic scales, the present moment is immense. This is why astronomy often evokes awe and calm simultaneously. It places human urgency against cosmic patience. It reminds us that nothing is actually rushing. The universe is not in a hurry. It unfolds. Eternity feels close when we align with that unfolding instead of resisting it. Sleep is alignment. You stop pushing time forward. You allow yourself to drift with it. This is why sleep deprivation feels like resistance. The mind refuses to release control. It keeps tracking time, keeps anticipating, keeps counting. And time, when counted relentlessly, becomes heavy. When allowed to pass unmeasured, it becomes light. This is why certain nights feel timeless, why hours can disappear without memory, why waking up can feel like returning from somewhere vast. You did not travel anywhere. You stopped tracking. The sense of eternity is not something added to experience. It is what remains when unnecessary structure falls away. The present moment, when fully inhabited, has no edges. It does not begin or end. It simply is. This is why many spiritual traditions describe eternity as now. Not the fleeting now between past and future, but the deep now beneath both. The now that contains all moments. This is not mystical exaggeration. It is a description of awareness without temporal filtering. When you are deeply present, the memory of the past and the anticipation of the future lose dominance. They still exist, but they no longer define experience. And in that space, eternity feels intimate, close enough to rest inside. This is not a state to achieve, it is a state to allow. Trying to reach eternity pushes it away. Relaxing into the present allows it to surface. This is why forcing sleep fails and surrendering to rest works. The universe does not respond to force, it responds to alignment. Everything in existence moves through fields, gravitational fields, electromagnetic fields, quantum fields. Consciousness moves through attentional fields. Where attention rests, experience gathers. At night, attention naturally loosens. It stops gripping tasks and identities. It drifts. And as it drifts, it touches deeper layers of reality, layers where time is not linear, where memory and presence coexist, where eternity is not infinite duration, but infinite depth. This is why some nights feel sacred even without explanation, why silence feels full rather than empty, why darkness feels protective rather than threatening. The night is not the absence of light, it is the absence of demand. And without demand, being becomes sufficient. Eternity does not demand anything, it simply is. And when the mind stops demanding from itself, it begins to feel that same quality. This is the moment when sleep becomes easy, not because you are tired, but because you are complete. Nothing else needs to be processed. Nothing else needs to be held. The present moment is enough. And that enoughness is eternity touching consciousness.
There's a way of thinking about time that most people inherit without questioning. Time as a line, a straight path from past to future, a sequence of moments stacked one after another. This model is useful. It helps us plan. It helps us remember. It helps us function in a world that demands schedules. But it is not the only way time exists, and it is not the way time is experienced at its deepest levels. Beneath the ticking of clocks, beneath calendars and deadlines,
there is another structure, a quieter structure, a continuum. In this continuum, time does not march forward. It does not hurry. It does not insist on direction. It flows, not like a river rushing downhill, but like a current in deep water, slow, even, persistent. This is the kind of time the universe seems to prefer. When physicists describe the largest structures in existence, they do not speak in seconds or hours. They speak in billions of years. And even then, those spans are often treated as single states rather than sequences. A galaxy does not experience its life as a series of events. It exists as a configuration, a pattern of matter and motion sustained over time. Stars ignite, burn, and fade, but the galaxy remains. From the inside, change happens. From the outside, stability dominates. This difference in perspective matters, because human consciousness exists at a scale where change feels constant. Our bodies age, our thoughts shift, our emotions rise and fall. From this vantage point, time feels relentless. But this relentlessness is not universal, it is local. Just as gravity feels strong on Earth but weak in interstellar space, time feels intense at the human scale but diffused at larger ones. This is the first hint of the quiet continuum. Time is not one thing. It behaves differently depending on where you stand. Einstein showed that time slows in motion and gravity, but long before equations, human experience already knew this. Moments of fear stretch endlessly. Moments of joy pass instantly. Moments of deep rest feel timeless. The mind does not measure time equally. It bends it. This bending is not a flaw, it is a feature. It reveals that time is not just external, it is relational. It depends on awareness. When awareness is contracted, time feels sharp and narrow. When awareness expands, time softens. Sleep is the most familiar example. In sleep, hours can pass without sensation. There is no counting, no sequence, no narrative. And yet, sleep is not nothing. Processes occur. Memory consolidates. The body repairs itself. Hormones shift. Time passes, but without resistance, without observation. This is crucial. Time feels heavy when it is observed obsessively. It feels light when it is allowed to pass untracked. The quiet continuum is time without observation pressure. It is not the absence of time, it is the absence of urgency. This is why insomnia often involves hyper-awareness. The mind watches time instead of moving with it. Minutes become loud, seconds feel aggressive. The clock becomes an adversary. Sleep returns when attention releases, when the mind stops tracking progression and allows immersion. Immersion is the key. When you are immersed in something, music, deep thought, rest, time dissolves into flow. This is not because time stops, it is because the mind stops segmenting. Segmenting time creates edges. Edges create tension. Remove the edges, and time becomes spacious. This spaciousness is what the quiet continuum feels like. It is not endless, it is boundless. There is a difference. Endless implies extension. Boundless implies depth. The quiet continuum is not about infinite duration. It is about infinite presence. This is why certain experiences feel eternal even when they are brief. A single moment of stillness can feel vast. A deep breath can feel complete. A night of restful sleep can feel like a reset that touches something ancient. Because in those moments, awareness aligns with a deeper temporal structure, one that does not count, one that does not hurry, one that simply holds. The universe itself exists mostly in this state. On cosmic scales, most change is slow. Violent events, supernovae, collisions are rare punctuations. Between them, there is long continuity, stability, persistence. The universe is not chaotic in the way daily life can feel. It is patterned. Even its randomness follows distributions. Even its uncertainty obeys laws. This is not a cold order, it is a gentle one, a rhythm rather than a command. Human life, by contrast, often feels rushed because it is layered with expectation. We do not simply experience time, we anticipate it, we worry about it, we resist it. The quiet continuum appears when resistance fades, when experience stops being about where you are going and becomes about where you are. This is why meditation traditions across cultures emphasize stillness, not because stillness is an end, but because stillness reveals what is already moving underneath. When you sit quietly, time does not stop, but your relationship to it changes. Minutes lose their grip, thoughts slow, awareness broadens, and in that broadening, continuity becomes noticeable. This continuity is not dramatic, it is subtle. It feels like being held rather than pushed, like floating rather than walking. The body understands this intuitively. This is why deep rest feels safe, why the nervous system relaxes when there is no demand to act. The parasympathetic system activates when there is no perceived threat. Time pressure is a threat. Release the pressure and the body responds. Heart rate slows, breath deepens, muscles release. This physiological shift is mirrored psychologically. Thoughts loosen, identity shifts, the emotions of I must fade. In their place comes I am. This is the quiet continuum entering awareness, not as an idea, as a condition, a background hum of existence that was always there. Modern life trains attention towards urgency, notifications, deadlines, progress metrics. This trains the mind to live on the surface of time, always moving forward, always planning, always reviewing. The quiet continuum lives beneath that surface, accessible not by effort, but by release. Nighttime naturally facilitates this release. Darkness removes visual stimulation, silence reduces cognitive demand. The body shifts towards rest. And in that shift, the deeper structure of time becomes perceptible. This is why nighttime often feels philosophically charged, why thoughts become expansive, why questions about meaning arise unprompted, why the universe feels closer. It is not because the universe changes at night, it is because we do. Our attentional stance shifts, and with it, our experience of time. The quiet continuum does not erase memory, it reframes it. Past events stop feeling like separate points and begin to feel like textures within a larger whole. The future stops feeling like a destination and begins to feel like an unfolding. This reframing reduces anxiety, because anxiety thrives on segmentation. What if this happens? What comes next? How long until? These questions assume time as a sequence to be survived. The quiet continuum treats time as a medium to rest within. This is why people often report a sense of safety when they feel timelessness, not because nothing can happen, but because nothing needs to happen. Existence becomes sufficient. This sufficiency is deeply calming. It is not excitement, it is not distraction, it is contentment without cause. The universe itself seems content in this way. It does not rush towards outcomes. It allows processes to unfold. Stars burn at their own pace. Galaxies rotate slowly. Expansion continues without urgency. Nothing is late. Nothing is early. Everything happens when conditions allow. Human suffering often arises from trying to force timing, forcing growth, forcing resolution, forcing rest. The quiet continuum cannot be forced. It is entered sideways, through surrender, through allowing, through stopping the attempt to control temporal flow. Sleep is the most natural entry point. You do not do sleep, you let sleep happen. The moment you try to control it, you leave the continuum, and time snaps back into sharpness. Rest returns when control releases. This is not a weakness, it is wisdom. The universe does not reward force, it responds to alignment. This section is not about abandoning time, it is about learning that time has layers, and that the deepest layer is gentle. It holds everything without hurry,
It does not require your vigilance. It does not require your planning. It simply continues, quietly, faithfully. This is the continuum you touch when you lie awake at night and feel the present moment widen, when thoughts fade into softness, when awareness remains but effort dissolves, when time stops acting like time.
Now there is nothing left to carry. No idea needs to be followed. No image needs to be held in place. No sentence needs to arrive anywhere. The story has already done its work. It has slowed the pace. It has widened the space. It has gently loosened the grip of attention. From here on, nothing is required of you. You do not need to stay awake. You do not need to fall asleep. Both will happen naturally without instruction. Breathing continues on its own. The body settles where it knows how to rest. Thoughts become lighter, less defined, less urgent. If words are still heard, let them be sound only. If silence arrives, let it stay. There is no transition you need to manage. Sleep is not something you enter, it is something you stop resisting. Just as night does not force the sky to darken, rest does not force the mind to quiet. It happens when effort fades. And effort has already faded. You are safe to let go of the story now. Safe to let go of the voice. Safe to let go of the need to listen. The universe does not require your attention to continue. Your body does not require permission to rest. Everything knows what to do next, and you can allow it.